Why Saudi Arabia more? Any reasons?
Never. Breast cancer.
More breast cancer. Number one. Like America, Europe also more.
They didn't know how it's
Friendship with America. Reason. Yes? Friendship with the America. The reason. Isn't it? You are very old friendship with America. So there more infection getting there. So still the cases are less. 5,000 is not much, but your population is less, so even 5,000 is more.
Doctor, like cancer, is it complication
Complication of?
breast carcinoma?
I didn't understand it. Cancer, carcinoma are the same thing.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So it was, you talk about the breast, then it's metastasis to leg.
We are talking about the common cause. The most common cancer in the females is breast cancer. But the most common cause of cancer-related death in the female is the lung cancer. Death due to cancer. Common cancer is something else. But death due to cancer is the lung cancer most common. Second is the breast cancer. Now, what are the risk factors? We have many risk factors which are there. Some we know, these are definitive risk factors. But the others, the role is not well defined. The role is not well defined. So what are the well-established influences or the risk factors? These are geographic variations, race, ethnicity, age, genetics, family history, first-degree relatives, early menarche, late. This is the whole list. Okay? You know about these things. You might have read about these things. Like atypical hyperplasias. They have some chance of progressing, 1.5 to 2% maybe. Atypical hyperplasia has more chances there. Lobular carcinoma in situ 8 to 10 times the more risk. So you can refer back to your lecture, maybe the Robbins has changed the numbers. So you can refer to them. There is increased risk, maybe from 1 to 10 times in these three. Then is the late age at first pregnancy. What do you mean by late age at first pregnancy? This is important.
Old age.
So if the pregnancy occurs at an earlier age, so the stem cells which are present in the breast is small, pregnancy occurs. So there is terminal differentiation of the cells. Lobules are formed. Lobules will not form until there is full-fledged. When full-fledged pregnancy is there, the lobules will be formed. So there is terminal differentiation of the cell. So stem cells will decrease in number. So more stem cells you are having more chances of malignancy, because stem cells can differentiate along many lines. You got it? This is the reason. So late age at first pregnancy will delay the terminal differentiation. So more chances of getting the malignancy. Nulliparity again. Terminal differentiation into the lobules will not be there. So more chances of malignancy. Early menarche and late menopause. What are the causes? Early menarche, late menopause.
Estrogen.
Very good. Early menarche means more estrogenic influences. Late menopause. So the reproductive life will be increased. So more estrogenic influences. So more estrogenic influences will lead to more breast cancer. Then family history, genetics, first degree relatives, all these increase. This is based on the genetics. Age, as the age increases, the incidence of breast cancer will increase. We have the geographic variation, we will talk about them. Less well-established influences, what are these? Exogenous estrogen. Because estrogens have a growth promoting effect of the breast. Okay? So these can cause obesity also again. The reason is more estrogen formation. High fat diet also has more or less the same thing. Alcohol consumption and cigarette smoking. All these, because these contain the carcinogens. So all these things can lead to, but these are less well established. Okay? These have a strong influence on the breast cancer. Previously, in previous edition of Robbins, they included this also, oral contraceptive also, as a risk factor. But this edition they have excluded. So that is why I have kept it as a note. So don't read the previous lectures, because we take the Robbins into account. So if Robin changes anything, we go for the new lecture. So it is changed. Okay.
It's prevention.
Huh?
And the last edition, they say it's taken as a prevention. The oral
No, it is, I think, in the risk factors here in this.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the
Yeah.
last edition,
Yeah.
they said it used to think it's established the cancer. But
Yeah.
now they take it as a prevention.
Yeah, prevention.
And
But
ovarian
it should not be
cancer.
used. It should not be used.
And ovarian cancer, it's as a prevention. Pregnancy outcomes.
Yeah. But it should not be used here also. But they say that they have no role. They have no role.
There is a estrogen.
The thing is that when just listen. Previously, when we used to give the oral contraceptives, they were predominantly estrogen. Predominantly. The first type. Only estrogens were used. Then they added some progesterone. So those oral contraceptives were dangerous. But nowadays there is fine tuning between the amount of estrogen and progesterone. So they are not dangerous as such. But still they should not be used unless and until they are, in future you will heard many things. We use many drugs and later on we hear they cause this and they cause that because it takes a long time also. So oral contraceptives, no role in causing the breast cancer. Now these are the risk factors. With age, especially after menopause, the risk will increase. Okay? Especially after menopause. Geographic variations, more in North America and Northern Europe than in Asia and Africa. It is related to environmental causes like diet, maybe high fat diet they are taking, then reproductive patterns, they want only one child, no child, nursing patterns, they don't feed their children, bottle fed, they want to maintain the figure, so what will happen? Then the cancer will come. You got it? Almighty Allah has given this thing for everything in your body has a function. So without function it is not there. So you don't allow the breast to function properly. So higher incidence and mortality in the United States than in the Japan. So it means it is more in the American and European countries as compared to the Asian and African countries. Got it? Then race and ethnicity also has an effect. What? Highest rate of breast cancer is seen in non-Hispanic white women. Hispanic, you will go home and see what is Hispanic, what is Caucasians, what are these. Try to study where these populations are. And Hispanic and African American women also have these cancers. Most common where? Non-Hispanic white women. But in Hispanic women, they are more dangerous. Okay? So more common breast cancer is in Hispanic women, non-Hispanic women, but Hispanic and African American women tend to develop more aggressive cancers and at a younger age. Yeah? At a younger age and more aggressive. It's not mine. Risk factors now. Long duration between menarche and menopause, long reproductive life, obesity, both these things will give rise to more estrogens. Yes. So unopposed estrogenic effects. Radiation in the region of the chest because of some other malignancy can also lead to breast cancer. Atypical hyperplasias, atypical hyperplasia, lobular or ductal hyperplasia, will also lead to altered or increased growth of breast epithelium. Then the family history. And these risk factors can lead to breast cancer. So what is the pathogenesis? We have the risk factors now. We know the risk factors. Pathogenesis broadly we divide into three things. One is the genetic basis. Another is the hormonal basis. Third is the environmental. Clear? Genetic, within the person. Hormonal, maybe within the person or from outside. And the environmental from outside. Okay? So genetically, why we establish a genetic basis for this cancer? Because we have the material to establish it. We find hereditary breast cancer, which is running in the families. Mother having, daughter having, it runs. So the total is 10% of all the breast cancer, 10%. But 10% is also huge.
Yes.
100 women, 10 is hereditary. So 10% of all the cancers, And the females who are having these cancers, they are more likely to have bilateral cancers. Bilateral. Okay? Bilateral cancers in both the breasts at a younger age than the other women. And other cancers also, like ovarian cancers will be more common. They will have a positive family history. And they also will belong to certain ethnic groups like Ashkenazi Jewish descent. Certain ethnic groups are also there which are more involved with these. You might be knowing Israel is very near to it.
Yes.
1/3 of these, all the cases of hereditary breast cancer, 1/3 out of these have mutations in the BRCA1 and BRCA2. This is located on 17q, this is on 13q. Okay? So BRCA1 and 2 are the two genes which are associated with hereditary breast cancer. How it happens? These BRCA1 and 2 genes, they have first mutation germline mutation. What do you mean by germline mutation? No, germline mutation. What do you mean by mutation? Germline. Germline mutation. No. Germline mutation. Anybody? It occurs during the embryonic. You said it? Ah, good. The credit goes to you. So germline mutation occurring during the embryonic life. Later on, one allele will be affected. So in the embryo, one allele is affected. Okay. Later on, there is second hit during the acquired life. Life. So there is second hit. There is subsequent somatic mutation. This is after the birth. So before birth, there is one mutation. One allele is affected, but one allele is normal. For this gene to be, causing breast cancer, you need both the genes to be affected, alleles to be affected. So second hit occurs after the birth, which is called the somatic mutation. So germline mutation is mutation during the embryonic life, and somatic mutation is after the embryonic life, after the birth. Okay. So when both the mutations are there, only then the cancer will occur. If only one mutation, cancer will not occur. Yes. Yeah. There are some cancers, there are some genes, only one mutation is required. Okay? There are some genes, both, like tumor suppressor genes. You will require 2 mutations in both the alleles. Both the alleles have to be inactivated. For some genes, only one allele needs to be inactivated. So it depends upon which type of gene it is. Most of the tumor suppressor genes, both the alleles should be inactivated. Only then the cancer will occur. So this was, role of heredity. We have heredity, we have BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes. 2 genes are involved in 1/3 of the cases. We have first mutation which is in the embryonic life, another one is after the birth. Yeah. Some of that can occur. Even after the birth also both the alleles can be affected. It is not essential. But most of the time this is the sequence. First in the embryonic, second in the real life. Sporadic breast cancer. In sporadic, which is not hereditary, okay, you have mutations of these genes. Overexpression of HER2 new protein. Okay, this is a proto-oncogene. HER2 new. Okay. In 30% of the cases you will find this, and others you will find many other genes like RAS, WIG, RB, P53 and estrogen progesterone receptors. So these are the genetic basis of breast cancer. Now, based on the gene profiling, we divide breast cancers into 4 types. This is the latest and you should remember this thing. Luminal type A, luminal A. It is estrogen receptor positive but HER2 new negative. Okay. Luminal B, estrogen receptor positive, HER2 also overexpressing. So both. HER2 new positive, it is overexpressing the HER2 new, but estrogen receptor is negative. And basal like, it is both negative. Okay? The first one, luminal A, estrogen positive. Luminal B, both estrogen positive and HER2 new overexpressing. HER2 new positive is only overexpressing the HER2 new, estrogen is negative. Basal like is negative for both. Okay? So this has a clinical implication. The treatment is different for different. Because if estrogen receptor positive, you will give tamoxifen. they respond better to anti-estrogenic effects, like the tamoxifen drug. Okay, HER2/neu is a bad thing. If you have this positivity, it is bad for the patient. So here also the treatment will differ. So this is for clinical side. We label it for the clinical side because they will change the treatment according to this, depending upon which receptor is there.
What's the difference between 2 and 3?
2 and 3. What is the difference? Can you say? Here HER2/neu is positive, overexpressive. Here it is negative. Here both are negative. Estrogen and 3. 2 and 3. Yeah. Estrogen is positive. This is also positive. Here it is positive, but estrogen is negative. Okay, negative.
What's the meaning of negative?
Negative means the breast cells are not expressing the receptor. So if you give anti-estrogen tamoxifen, it will not bind. What? From clinical point of view, treatment point of view. Positive means the receptor is there. Estrogen receptor is there on the cell. Negative means the receptor is not there. So the treatment will vary. Hormonal influences. We have the estrogenic influences. Okay, like long duration of reproductive life, nulliparity, and late age at the first birth. Or some people have functioning ovarian tumors which secrete estrogen. So they will lead to more breast cancers. How the estrogen has a positive impact? They say because estrogen once this is a breast cancer cell. Okay, estrogen comes and binds. Once it binds, it leads to the production of more growth factors like TGF, transforming growth factor alpha, PDGF, platelet derived growth factor, FGF, fibroblast growth factor. So all these factors are released. Okay, suppose FGF is released, fibroblast growth factor. From the breast cancer cell, it is released. Where it will go? It will bind to the fibroblast. So this is a paracrine or autocrine? Paracrine. It is acting on the neighboring cells. Okay, so this is a paracrine effect. Some other factors which are released, they will act directly on the breast cell. So this is the autocrine. So estrogen stimulates the paracrine effects and the autocrine effects by causing the secretion of many growth factors. So this is the mechanism how estrogen stimulates the growth of the breast cells. Is it clear?
Yes.
Estrogen?
Normally,
Look, normally also it can cause. Normally also it can cause. There is no doubt about that. But when the estrogen is more, so it will be more. And in addition to the normal cells, it will bind the cancer cells also. But if the cancer cells have the receptors, it will bind, so lead to more production. So it will be, the growth of the cancer will be more. So this is how it promotes. And environmental variables are many, like high fat diet, nursing patterns, and many things are there. But these do not have a well-defined role as such. Maybe they stimulate the more production of, like obesity, high fat diets. The more estrogen is produced in the body. That will have a growth promoting effect. So, because why we say environmental variables? Because it is more in American and European rather than in Asian and African countries. So it has something to do with the environment of those countries. So we finish the risk factors. Risk factors, as you know, genetic, hormonal and environmental. Among these, the most strong is the genetic. We have the genetic family histories, it runs in the families, atypical hyperplasia, radiation, then age, geographic influence, all these have some role. Now, we divide it into breast cancer. We divide it into in situ carcinomas. What do you mean by in situ carcinoma? In situ means non-invasive. Yeah, which do not cross the basement membrane. Okay, and invasive means which cross the basement membrane. So we have two main types of carcinomas: in situ and invasive. Feeling not well? Not feeling